Bardzo dziękuję.
Thank you very much, dear High Representative. Dear Kaya, dear President, thank you for coming to today's council. Thank you for chairing this informal council of ministers of defense from, and also with the representative from Ukraine. We held also a meeting with the Ukrainian Minister of Defense. We united ourselves in our support for Ukraine. This support is indispensable for peace. Peace will happen, and a fair type of peace, that's the only one that we are taking into account. We need a just peace. Ukraine will arrive at this just peace if it is strong, and we need to be strong with our alliance, with our union, with all of us, so that we are able to defend ourselves. So all the initiatives on armaments, on training for Ukrainian soldiers in EU member states, our missions, training missions that have been conducted by the EU since the very outset of this full-scale war against Ukraine. All these efforts will be pursued as long as it is needed, as long as Ukraine needs our help. This is a declaration of practically all member states with one small exception. So we are united, we are strong, we will pursue our support for Ukraine, we will train Ukrainian soldiers, we will develop our own defense industry, various types of initiatives, joint venture initiatives with the Ukrainian industry, for example. The white paper that was discussed today and yesterday with Commissioner Kubilius during our conference, which we held yesterday on our defense strategy, and today during the informal meeting of the ministers of defense, we all spoke about the importance of this document, of this white paper. We see that the EU is awake, is aware of the threat. This is the first strategic document of this type that is adopted, and it speaks of the defense strategy of the EU. At the same time, we are somewhat loosening the fiscal criteria, because so far some countries could not cope with the additional costs of defense spending because of strict fiscal rules, and member states could not make commitments. And this commitment is not a whim of some kind. This is an existential choice. We have to be able to take face on various challenges, various threats. We want to prevent war. We want to secure peace for Europe. We want to be strong enough that no country dares to attack us in the future. We also had the Deputy Secretary General of NATO present during the first session, and there was a very strong message stemming from that, because there were some doubts were raised in the European Parliament. A stronger Europe means a stronger NATO. The EU does not want to replace NATO. NATO is a military alliance. It has its capabilities, but the EU is an area for development and an area of security. But in order to be able to develop, we need security. We need to invest in our military and in our defense industry. Thanks to that, NATO will be stronger, because it will be able to take advantage of the armaments we produce, of the equipment we produce. So we will reinforce the operational capacity of NATO. And everybody who's trying to say that we are trying to compete with NATO, that is absolute nonsense. No, we are doing our utmost so that NATO is stronger. And the white paper will not undermine any decisions made by member states. Our armies are national. The decisions are made at the national level. The EU will not make military decisions. Our sovereignty will be even greater if the EU as a whole is more secure. Through this white paper, we need to implement this white paper as fast as possible. That is our main conclusion. There are various actions we can undertake. We also focused on space. We also focused on cyber attacks. That is very important from the standpoint of Poland. For us, this is number one. For Baltic states, also for Finland, for the eastern flank, the Shield East is very much the Baltic fortifications defense line is very important in keeping with the resolutions adopted in the European Parliament and also in keeping with this white paper. This is a strategic project that is supposed to enhance the security of EU as a whole. All the various types of investments in drone systems, anti-drone systems, systems that protect our citizens, civil protection systems. All these systems are European defense systems. To scale them up, we also need more mobility, military mobility in the EU. That's another subject we discussed. This does not require huge outlays of money, but we need to improve mobility so that our heavy equipment can be mobile, can be dispatched all over Europe without administrative constraints, without delays, waiting for some kind of authorization. Because sometimes we will need speed, and speed will be key to defend our values and to defend our independence and the sovereignty of our nations. So once again, I would like to thank Kosiniak-Kamysz. Thank you for a very effective presiding over our debates. And this is a new type of dynamic. This is the first meeting during this term of the European Commission. There is a new dynamic of discussing with the Commission, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.